Yo, top Billin. I'm completely fascinated by the draft process and seeing how it unfolds for some of these kids that I covered. If y'all can remember before the season, I did something on Kristian Fulton. I thought he was perhaps the best cornerback coming into 2019 season, along with, I thought, A.J. Terrell, C.J. Henderson, Eric Stokes at Georgia, right? So he's right in the mix right there. And there's really nothing you can say too bad about Kristian Fulton's game coming into his senior season, right? Very physical kid, great short area quickness, very competitive, good long speed. Just had the makings of somebody who I thought was at the very least a late first-round draft pick, right? So I kind of resided to the fact that he could be a second-round pick, but I thought maybe at the top of the second round with how some of the stuff played out during the season. But, man, this dude went with the 61st pick or something like that? Come on, man. Kristian Fulton, the Titans got him at 61. That may be the steal of the draft. Now, check this out right here. Kristian Fulton checks all your boxes, man. Look at him, a 4.46 in the 40, 35 vert for a 6-foot corner, 123. I don't care about the damn broad jump. I can't even front. Every time I look at the broad jump, I'm like, why do people be talking about this shit? Like, well, when are you going to broad jump on the field? Then they be like, oh, it's measuring explosiveness. Explosiveness means how good you can run and jump vertically. But they already measure a vertical leap in a 40-yard dash. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. Come on, man. But a 6.94 and a 3-cone, 4.36, 20-yard shuttle, good agility. Just a kid that I like very much. But check this out, man. Did the national championship cost this man a round in the draft? Eerily similar, right, with me doing this A.J. Terrell stuff for the Falcons content. I thought the Falcons content cost A.J. Terrell some public perception type stuff. But, man, they still went 16th overall. So what did it really hurt? But Kristian Fulton going that low? But let's check out what happened in that game, man. He was underratedly picked on, and you could say he had as bad a game as A.J. Terrell. Check it out. All right, so every time I think about this game, I think about this particular play right here, and I'm like, damn, what happened to Kristian Fulton, right? So I call him Fulton County Jail. My man's putting guys in protective custody his junior season and for most of his senior season as well. But he caught a bad one in this particular game right here, and he's going against Mr. Justin Ross here. You got Ross, undoubtedly a first-round pick in next year's draft. Now check this out. Kristian Fulton, right, going to be bailing out. He's using bail with an outside leverage, looking at the quarterback. So he's all good. And Justin Ross here is going to be running an out route with a hard inside stem. So look at him stemming on the inside. Kristian Fulton's like, oh, what? I'm about to jump this shit. Even though he kept drifting upfield, he commits extra hard to the inside stem. And look at my boy, hit him with the crossover. That's not even Justin Ross's thing yet. I think it will be next year. Just some good route running, stopping on the dime. But look, Kristian Fulton's all out of sorts. Look at what happened to his ankle. Look at his ankle. Come on, man. That should remind me of what was that? What was that fine ass chick? She caught a crossover at like a celebrity game or something like that. Hold on, let me see if I can find that chick. Y'all remember this right here? My girl, man, I met this girl too, man. She bad as on nowhere. I met her at the Falcons game one time. She was with Ray Rice. All right, check this out right here. Kristian Fulton. Oh, that's just how Kristian Fulton looked, man. Look at the ankles. Oh, look at this right there. Come on, man. But look at this right here. You know what I'm saying? All right, back to it. All right, unable to transition right there. Complete crazy separation by Justin Ross. Not even a good throw either. My man, quick draw law here, throwing it on the inside. But, hey, it is what it is. Justin Ross, breakdown, get upfield a lot. But check, man, come on. That transition was nasty by you got Ross. Broke him. Nasty. Shifted his feet. Come on. All right, so 9 out of 10 times, Kristian Fulton's going to play with sound technique. This isn't one of those times right here. So we see Justin Ross here getting vert. Now, what I don't like about this with Kristian Fulton is it's almost like a basketball defense right here, right? He's shuffling his feet, getting in position, rather than just being patient and allowing Justin Ross to really declare what he wants to do. By shuffling your feet, you shuffle to one side, and you allow some type of leverage, right? So now you have to play with outside leverage. Looks like he was going to shoot a jam here. Justin Ross times that, slaps that hand away like somebody reaching for the cookies. Don't be reaching for your mama's cookies, man. Don't be reaching for your mama's cookies. Slaps that away. Now look at that. I don't know what this is. Kristian Fulton looks like he was trying to trip him or something like that. So now he's permanently attached on outside leverage with Justin Ross getting downfield. And we know Justin Ross has really good build-up speed, right? Maybe not the quickest 0 to 60, but his 60 to 100 I think is definitely very good. So Kristian Fulton, right, is very fast himself, so he's not necessarily out of position. He's just out leveraged. So a throw right here, if he were to had stayed on inside, right, and would have forced this throw to the outside, I think it's a more difficult throw rather than where he's at, where Trevor Lawrence could just throw the ball upfield or even on the inside, and he would have to come through and maybe pass interfere if it's a good call. So we see right here, it's a good throw, and he's not going to be able to get through that guy, right? Good throw, long cat like that. He stacked you. It's done. All right, here we go. There's another theme to this, being as though Kristian Fulton had, I want to say, I know he had 3 penalties, right? 3 pass interference penalties. It may have been a 4th, but I know 3 for sure. And here's one right here on T. Higgins going vert on him. So let's look at Kristian Fulton, man. He just looks the part, right? Another thing I want to broach is, I wonder if these dumbass NFL execs realize he changed his number from 22 to 1. I had somebody come on the channel and call me a dumbass because of the Kristian Fulton content that I did before the season started. Obviously, he was number 22 before he changed his number to 1 when Kelvin Joseph left the team, right? So I wonder if they watching Kelvin Joseph content and thinking it's Kristian Fulton. But, man, Kristian Fulton just looks the part, man. He has a body structure, kind of like when Darrelle Revis was in shape. Very similar to that. Very similar type of skill set, too. Not as technically sound, but the competitive drive and the want to and everything. But check this out right here. Here we go again with this, right? Just pulling the ripcord, Kristian Fulton's better than this to me, right? He sees it's an outside release. Why would you get your left hand to try to jam the right shoulder? You know how to do this, Kristian Fulton. You would get that right hand right there to the shoulder pad, and then you're in position. That means to get your right hand there, that means you have turned your body and it is in position to run exactly mirroring what T. Higgins is doing. But you do that right there, you're already off balance. Look at him. Always look like he's about to fall. So what has to happen then? Then he has to try to leverage himself back in. So look, now he's out right there. That's probably a pass interference. This is definitely a pass interference right here. You cannot impede someone's progress. So holding someone's jersey, even before a slight second, could slow them down, and that's a clear pass interference right there. There's no reason to do that. He's faster than the T. Higgins, and it's not even close, right? So they're both in the chicken fighting stage right here. Now look, he starts to hook. He hooked T. Higgins' hand, his arm right here, and rides it. Pause. Higgins trying to get him off. He's hooking still. He hooked pretty much for like 10 or 15 yards, it seems. And then he clips himself on T. Higgins' foot. Down goes Frazier. And look, come on, man. That's just free yardage for no reason. Look at that. Grant Delpit was going to break it up anyway. Shout out to Grant Delpit, man. I'm sleeping on my boy Grant Delpit. But, yeah, there you go, man. Pulling the ripcord, abandoning technique when he's one of the most sound technique corners in the draft. All right, so here's another penalty right here. And I noticed that he had trouble with in-breaking routes, right? His transitions looked like his footwork was being a little bit lazy, so he tried to grab his way to a transition. So you see Justin Ross with the rhythm step right here, varying his route speed. Fulton being patient, right? But he automatically takes the jab, right? He takes the jab, really commits to the outside, and this is an in-breaking route. So now he wants to get back into position. So he's already out leveraged, right? He has permanent outside leverage here. Now look, that's cool if the ball is going upfield or something, but what happens when someone wants to transition, right? To really stay with the transition, you have to do this. Check this out, right? So I had somebody tell me that they didn't think this was a penalty. This is clearly a penalty. Look at this. This doesn't get more blatant than that. Look, he's holding his jersey while he's trying to transition. That's a penalty. You can see it right here. Look, Justin Ross, he's there you go right here. If you can't see that, to that person there that told me about that, but that's clearly a penalty. Look at he's altering the jersey, pulling it, and Justin Ross having to like, hey man, get off me. So he propelled himself forward to almost make a pick. So another pass interference. All he had to do was really just trust his technique. Trust the technique. Here was another play that stood out to me with Kristian Fulton. You see on the T. Higgins touchdown run here, you got Kristian Fulton coming in, and instead of wrapping up, maybe he stops him at the 3-yard line and Clemson doesn't score. But he thought he was going to hit his way, right? Just lunged himself at T. Higgins, and he took a bad one. Bam! Look at that. Mack truck. He had to get the license plate to T. Higgins. He's like, officer, it was 5. Check this out right here. Right? It's almost kind of selfish, right? Like, he could have literally just wrapped his arm around T. Higgins and slung him out of bounds, but he thought that this was going to get T. Higgins on the ground, and didn't quite happen that way. So, boom. He got his stool softened. T. Higgins was on his way to a touchdown there. All right, so check this one out right here. Another in-breaking route, this time from T. Higgins. Now, even though he's squared up right here, squared up, facing him straight up, man coverage, he does immediately take an outside leverage approach. So I'm not sure if this is some type of zone, some type of quarters or deep third coverage type or anything like that. But still, I'm not sure about this because if you think about it, he still follows T. Higgins pseudo. He's directing traffic here, telling K'Lavon Chaisson, Pat Queen, to replace to where he was. So maybe some type of zone coverage, but he follows T. Higgins all the way on the inside. I'm not sure if he was just struggling with it, because if it were zone, he wouldn't need to really go this far in, especially if he has a third of the field or something like that. So he's following them pretty much close in, but this was the best thing that could have happened to him right here. This is when T. Higgins hurt his knee right here. Oh, that's bad. But yeah, so tell me what you think about that one right there. I don't know. He looked like he was lazy on the inside transitions a lot. Here's another one. All right, this time he's going against true freshman Joe Nagata here, who's running the in-breaking route. Nagata's an explosive player. He's going to be really good. Look at that. He's coming to varying up the rhythm steps and running with a little bit of power here. Jazz him. He's so bad. Look at him. He had to do almost the tripping thing again, right, where he tries to trip him. And look, he was that close to being called for a penalty on this one. It was just that Nagata was so powerful, he broke through it. So he's beat clearly right here, but this is nothing of his. It's an incomplete pass, right? So it's an empty route, but it's still something that you look for when you're scouting because it's not anything that he did. This was a bad pass that was behind Nagata, and he couldn't do it. So obviously if this pass were out in front, this would be an easy reception because he's beat pretty easily here. So that's one thing you have to always look for when you're scouting. You have to look at how results are derived. Was that derived from him, or was it derived from something that the offensive, like an offensive mishap? That was an offensive mishap. All right, so here's another one with T. Higgins going vert. This one wasn't called a penalty, so if it's not called a penalty, it's not a penalty. However, for scouting purposes, you would look at this and be like, this could be called a penalty any given time, though. So we see T. Higgins, right, taking an inside release here. He's automatically. I don't know what was going on with his route transitions at the bottom of the route here. Like, look, I'm sorry, at the top of the route here. Like, I don't know what's up with that. He's being patient while still having like loud feet. Like, there's really no need to have loud feet like that. All right, so now they're in the even exchange situation here. T. Higgins is not going to outrun Kristian Fulton. Not by any stretch of the imagination, at least from time speed. So there's a difference between time speed and football speed. T. Higgins is very fast, especially the longer something goes. But look right here. This could be called a penalty. Why is he having his hand on the back of his jersey like this? He got away with one right here. Definitely got away with one. And remember, Clemson's bench was extreme. He has a handful of jersey. You can see it's crinkled up and everything, keeping himself in line here. Maybe because the pass was a little bit too far, right? Maybe an uncatchable ball. That's what I was saying. Probably, I don't know. The ball didn't come down too far. I think he just got away with one. See, look, he still have his hand on the back of T. Higgins' jersey. He wrote it the whole time. Oh, he took it off, but you can see how long he had it from there. Then he takes it off when the ball gets there. So, I don't know. But there you have it, man. That's pretty much my point on this one is do not let one game impact your opinion on a player who has a great body of work. You got to look at the entire body of work. I'm going to come back with part 2 with Kristian Fulton and show you the type of work that this kid does against elite competition. In my opinion, he's still one of the best and should have been a first-round draft pick or at the very least hidden in the top of the second round. Like the 61st pick or whatever he was, I think that's a little bit too low for him. And I understand that there are a ton of talented football players out there. I just know that Kristian Fulton is definitely one of them, and he will be very good in the NFL. Him going to the Tennessee Titans actually might work out in his favor right there, right? Him and Adoree Jackson and these guys, he's going to have some talent around him. And the Tennessee is just an up-and-coming team. Tennessee is just the truth, man. I love the way they play ball and everything. I will watch out for Tennessee this year. Very physical team there. So Kristian Fulton get to go against A.J. Brown in practice. Come on, man. That's going to be hard. So, all right, so I'll come back with part 2, and we can get it done from there. But make sure you like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. It's the Underground King, Murph Baldwin, and I am out. #RealMenWatch to the end. Peace.